Do you want to deal more damage while getting healed and having a rampaging pig riding girl on your team? Well, I got the character for you. What's good, guys? CJ here, and today we're going to talk about Truffle and Filbert. I'm bringing you guys a full guide for my personal build on this character, and I'm going to break it down real quick for those of you that seem impatient and want to know what the character does right away. This unit is going to heal and buff your team's damage by a whole load. It's an incredibly amazing unit that in most teams you're going to want to have as an AI companion or support unit, and she's just overall going to increase your damage output by a ton. With that said, let's move on over to the character. So here we have my Truffle and Filbert build. You guys can see the stats on the side. And as you can see, I pretty much went for a big duration build. And I do think that because of the way the AI plays with this character, I do think the duration build is pretty good. You can actually, change other things around, giving her more sanity or more HP. But we'll go into that when I actually break down the demon wedges. Let's talk about the skill first, and the reason I'm going to do that is because in my other videos I usually go straight into demon wedges, but people want to hear what the skills do first, even though they can just, see them right here. But I'm going to break these down relatively simple. The first skill, she's going to be shooting out a pig, as you can see right here, and this is pretty much the main utility for this character. She's going to heal her allies and herself and increase their damage. This is pretty much why she's so good. This one skill right here. She does have other things, but this one in particular is why I like this character so much. If we move over to the attribute details, you guys could see that she is providing some very nice healing and a massive damage boost, ladies and gentlemen. Now, my build is a duration build, so this one buff of 75% currently, and it will be going up once I'm able to ascend the character, is going to last for 15 seconds. This is an insane damage boost, and in a lot of cases, with 2-3 casts of this, you have pretty much burst down the boss real good. So this is really good, on top of the fact that it's relatively low in sanity cost, despite me not having any efficiency built into this build. So overall, pretty damn good, and this is what I pretty much focused with this unit. Moving on over to Tummy Full, Hands Full, Truffle rides on Filbert and gains 100 points of Passion of Work. Passion of Work loses 5 points per second and restores 1 when dealing damage and knocking into characters. Pretty much, just to break it down, she's going to hop on Filbert's back and she's going to be able to ride around, deal damage, and move at the speed of light. This is pretty nice. It does deal some good damage, but in all honesty, until you get her some sequences or some dupes, some introns, this is really not going to be like the main thing with her. You're not going to have her as a character that's going to be dealing damage. You guys can see the attribute right here. So she is going to be hitting pretty damn nice, but this is not her main thing. And for her passives, gain 1 stack of heavyweight for every second Truffle keeps moving, up to 10 stacks, and heavyweight increases the damage dealt and damage taken. Pretty damn simple stuff, right? Now, moving on over to some of the passives. When dealing skill damage, there is a chance to drop 1 ammo supply chest, which is pretty damn nice. Having a character that can, drop you some ammo is really good. And then her last thing is her support skill. Increases resolve for self and allies if 2 or more characters on the team share the same element, which, once again, it's not huge, but a 5% resolve boost is nice if you're going to be putting her on a team that shares the same element. Overall, that's pretty much the whole gist of this character, right? She's going to supply you with healing and with buffs, and she can also drop you some ammo, and later on she could deal a little bit of damage on the side. So overall, pretty good. And if you want to go fast, well, this buff right here will have you zooming through the map, okay? With that said, let's talk about the introns real quick. I'm gonna be honest, me personally, I really like the intron too. When using a skill, applies an attack boost equivalent to 3% of Truffle's max HP to her teammates for 10 seconds with a maximum boost of 300. Is it the greatest boost of all time? No, and I gotta clarify that because someone's gonna be in the comments talking about, that is such a small buff, it doesn't even matter. Listen, a buff's a buff, period. And that gives you a buff. So, considering we can just farm the characters for free, I don't care if it buffs me by 0.1%, that's still a little buff that can increase my damage output, even if it's by 10 points. So I'm definitely going to get this at some point after I get some of my other characters. Other than that, a lot of the other things just kind of revolve around her, right? Revolve around her if you want her to deal more damage or whatever it may be. So that's all I'm going to cover regarding her introns. Moving on over to her demon wedges, this is the build I'm currently working with, ladies and gentlemen. We do have Prime Serenity right here, which is going to restore additional sanity by 7 points for you and your teammates. I think this is like a must on this character. It's such a good, stat stick on top of the fact that the effect is absolutely amazing. You're going to need that on pretty much every team. More sanity, more damage, more everything, right? Then we're going to have Griffin Squall, Midnight Sun. And the main reason for this is not the anemo attack or the skill damage, is the skill duration. As I said, I did prioritize stacking skill duration. I'll tell you guys why I think this is so important with this build. Then we have Wings Eternity times, I believe, 3. Yep, we have 3 Wings Eternity, and the reason I have a negative slot over here is because I was trying some different builds. But yeah, 3 Wings Eternity, I think it's pretty good because they're going to be giving you max sanity and skill duration. So having some sanity in here is also pretty good, considering that you're going to want her to have enough for her buffs. But I don't think it's like massive. Once again, I'll go into that in a second. After that, we have Turbulent Cyclone, and I want to clarify, you can replace this. I've seen some people from my community have run Whispering Zephyr for more skill damage, and when an anemo character uses combat skill, it gains 14% skill damage increase for 6 seconds, which I do think it's pretty nice. But Turbulent Cyclone, once again, with this build, is going to give me more skill duration, and when an anemo character's ranged weapon triggers a bonus effect, it grants resolve to the user and nearby allies for 10 seconds. So overall, pretty good. Just that duration is really why I'm after this. From here, we're going for Nirvana, Phoenix Nirvana, for that HP, because she is going to scale off HP. You're going to want high HP on her. And then the last thing is going to be Pan's Eternity Abnegation for more skill duration, and the skill range being negative on there is not that big of a deal personally. From what we've been testing, you're still going to be able to get what you need. The character relatively stick close to you, so this is not a problem, and that duration is going to be massive. Now for Vigilant, for this slot, the center slot, I'm going for Feather Serpent's Vigilance, because when taking damage, there's a 50% chance to reduce the damage taken, and since you want her to stay alive, just this little bit works. She's already going to have pretty good HP, so it just works, right? Now, the reason I'm going for skill duration is because for some reason, at least for me, you guys can tell me how y'all's do in the comment section below, this skill seems to not get procced as often as I want to. And that doesn't mean that she doesn't activate the buffs. Sometimes she be using it, and then sometimes she's just spamming the weapon or using the buff, like the Piglet transformation or something. But I feel that because she doesn't use this skill as often as I want, I prefer to have a lot of duration, so the few times that she does get it off, the skill is up for a much longer time, allowing me to have that buff and deal more damage for a longer period of time. That's why I decided to go with a duration build as opposed to like a HP build for more heals and such, which a lot of people have gone, you know, because you like getting those heals. But so far, for like 95% of content, including theater, I haven't had the need for healing that bad, whereas a damage boost is always going to be good, and having that longer duration is great. So even if we're doing a battle against a boss and she only casts this thing 3 to 4 times, that's already a whole pretty much minute of you having a 75% damage boost, which is pretty damn good. Almost a whole minute, which is not bad. As long as she casts it 3 times, almost a whole minute. She casts it 4, a whole minute. So overall, pretty damn good, and that's why I decided to go for a duration build as opposed to something else. Now, this is my main build. Moving on to the melee weapon. Now, I don't know why you'd want to run her with a melee weapon unless you really want to get heals on her. But if you are going to run her with a melee weapon, I suppose, you can go ahead and put her with Undying Oneros, which is going to give her max HP, once again increasing those heals and giving you, more survivability overall on the character as well. Personally, I haven't unlocked it because I don't think that's a good weapon to run on her. I personally like running her with Arclight Apocalypses. I do think this is her best in slot weapon. I think it's very good, and it's just going to provide you more utility on the character, right? Skill duration, once again, is going to give you more skill duration, which is really good, and landing a crit hit with this weapon randomly grants other allies one of the following for 16 seconds. 10% attack, 10% defense, 7.5% skill damage, or 10% skill duration is one of them for 16 seconds, which is really good. And as you guys can see my build right here, we're pretty much at 100% crit chance, which is very good. And I'm going to tell you guys my build on this, even though I'm going to make a very specific video about this weapon, because I think my build on it is very good. So let's move on over to the Demon Wedges. First off, we're running Lilith's Focus for crit chance. I think that's obvious. You want to always land crits as much as possible. Then we have Lilith's Focus Mass, and I think this is a gigantic valued demon wedge on this character, because not only is it going to give you crit chance, but it's actually going to give you negative attack speed. And the reason you want negative attack speed is because if you've been playing with this character as your AI companion, sometimes they run out of arrows. The reason they run out of arrows is because they be spamming the bow. They be shooting that bow like there's no tomorrow, and you don't want that. You want as much uptime as you can on this. It lasts for 16 seconds, so if she shoots one arrow every 10 seconds, that's perfect for me. I don't need her spamming the hell out of the bow and running out of arrows within just 2 or 3, buffs of this thing right here. So I love focus mass on her. The slower she shoots, the better, because it'll extend that, that viability on those buffs. You'll be able to get that for much longer. So this is a vital mod for this weapon. Then we have Lilith's Impetuous Focus for more crit chance over here. So once again, we're trying to push for 100% crit chance, just so we can actually just guarantee crits pretty much all the time. Then we have Rage for crit damage. I mean, I'm gonna be critting already. Might as well just slap some crit damage on there. Can you change something for this? 100%. You can actually go ahead and put fold over instead of this, and it'll be absolutely fine. But as you can see, my tolerance is 90 out of 90, so I'm kind of on a budget. Nonetheless, fold over for more multi-shot is gonna be nice as well. Rain of Quivers is here for the multi-shot and is going to decrease the damage dealt by 60%, which is fine. I'm not looking to deal damage with this weapon. And the multi-shot is also going to be really nice, putting us at 3 multi-shot on this weapon. Then we have Arrow for maxed ammo, which is really good. Then we have Quiver Loadout, which is going to give us, once again, max ammo and negative reload speed. We're not really reloading with the bow. And even if we were, once again, the slower, the better. And you can indeed replace this with Fold Over for more multi-shot, because I don't know if we'll need this much ammo. As you can see, we have a gigantic max ammo capacity of 585. So with the slow shooting rate that we get from Lilith's Focus Mass, on top of the fact that we have an insane amount of ammo, we'll never run out of ammo. We'll always have uptime on the buff, which is really good. And then for my last slot, I have Decline. When dealing a crit damage, there's a 100% chance to disarm the target. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I still haven't really seen that much utility on this, but it's still cool to have. You can absolutely replace this for something else without any problem whatsoever. I just find it cool, because if I'm going into a mission and there's a bunch of dudes with weapons and I somehow disarm them with this right here demon wedge, I just think it's going to be nice, right? I guess they'll deal less damage to me. I'm not sure. I haven't really tested this all too much. I just like it there for what I believe it is, because in Warframe it kind of worked like that when you disarm opponents. Nonetheless, this is my build on this. We have really good crit chance, almost 100% crit chance. We have a lot of ammo. We have very high multi-shots, and that's really everything regarding this character, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. By all means, this is not the ultimate, most perfect, Truffle and Filbert build, but I think it's an absolutely insane build. I usually always have uptime on the buffs from this character, be it the bow buffs or the actual skill buffs, because of the way it's set up. And overall, I think it's very comfortable for everything from beginner players to endgame content. But that's going to be it for the video. If you've enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.